If you are here, there is a good chance you already feel it. Not as a realization, not as an answer, more like a quiet sense that something in the way you used to see things no longer fits. Nothing dramatic, just a subtle inner movement. Something is shifting. This space is called for the awakening. Here, awakening doesn't mean a sudden breakthrough or a special spiritual state. It points to something much older, something people have been circling around for centuries, trying to describe in their own languages. Across cultures and traditions, the same inner journey appears again and again. Buddhists spoke of Eightfold Path. Christian mystics described purification, illumination, and union. Sufis spoke of Fana and Baka. Kabbalists mapped the tree of Sephiroth. Alchemists wrote about turning lead into gold. Yogis described the 8 limbs of Patanjali. Astrology spoke through planets. Tarot told the story through the 22 major arcana. Joseph Campbell later called it Hero's Journey. Different maps, the same movement. In more modern language, this process appears as Maslow's evolving needs, as Jung's path of individuation, the slow integration of shadow, anima, animus, and the movement toward the self, as well as in contemporary psychology, neuroscience, and transpersonal approaches. But this channel isn't about studying the maps. It's about the experience itself. Awakening not as an idea, not as a spiritual identity, but as something lived, often quietly, often in ways that don't look spiritual at all. Here we talk about how inner change actually shows up in real life, in relationships, in exhaustion, in confusion, in moments when you no longer recognize who you are and don't yet know who you are becoming. This is not a channel about becoming better, and it's not about fixing yourself. It's about noticing what is already happening. You won't find promises of transformation here. You won't find techniques to manifest a different life. And you won't find answers meant to impress or convince. What you'll find are reflections, conversations, careful observations of inner experience. These reflections are grounded in lived experience and informed by many traditions, from depth psychology to mystical Christianity, Sufism, Kabbalah, Eastern teachings, and symbolic systems like astrology or tarot. Not as belief systems, but as different languages for describing the same inner processes. At times, this may include references to Jungian psychology, Vedic knowledge, or contemporary scientific metaphors, including quantum theory, simply as ways of naming what is already being lived. Many of the topics here come from the years of inquiry, from moments of clarity, but also from doubt, resistance, and fatigue. Because awakening is not a straight line, and it rarely looks the way we imagine it should. This space is for those who feel that something is unfolding, even if they can't yet name it. For those who are no longer satisfied with borrowed explanations, but are also not interested in replacing them with new beliefs. If this feels familiar, you'll probably recognize yourself here. There is nothing you need to believe, nothing you need to adopt, just an invitation to listen and maybe notice something you already know. Welcome to For the Awakening.